Hey guys, this is T4U of the Boston Red Sox bringing you my Week 8 WPF Gyarados League battle. If you watched the video I posted, how I prep for battles, this is the battle that I was starting to prep for in that video. You didn't see all of it because it wasn't anywhere near done, and there was no reason for anybody to sit there for an hour and a half with me. So I just kind of talked about how I would think about prepping, and I showed you a couple of sets, but not all of them. So before we jump into this battle, I'm just going to very quickly run through what I'm actually bringing. Urshifu is Life Orb because Choice was bad for us this week. We've got Wicked Blow, Drain Punch, Poison Jab, and Sucker Punch. Aegislash is a leftover set with Iron Head, King Shield, Shadow Sneak, and Close Combat. Sylveon is a specially defensive set with Hyper Voice, Mystical Fire, Wish, and Protect. Claydol is also specially defensive with Stealth Rock, Teleport, Rapid Spin, and Earthquake. Slowbro, our good old Slowbro, has a Rocky Helmet with Future Sight, Scald, Slack Off, and Teleport. And Mega Diancie has Diamond Storm, Moonblast, Mystical Fire, and Substitute. Now, looking at the team that Nolan ended up bringing to this battle, it's just about what I expected to see, with the one exception that Shuckle actually made an appearance. I didn't think Shuckle was coming, just between Magic Bounce on Diancie and Claydol being a spinner that is not on the ground or weak to Stealth Rocks. I didn't really see the value in Shuckle coming, but here it is. Luckily, we do handle Shuckle really well, but I was more prepped for the Blacephalon coming in that slot, or potentially Hitmonlee or Wigglytuff, but I really was expecting to see that Blacephalon, so that's one less major threat for us to have to face. And looking at team preview, I felt pretty confident. I expected him to lead either Shuckle or Ferrothorn to try to get up some hazards and put some pressure on right from the start. So I'm going to lead with my Diancie, so I can immediately Mega Evolve and Magic Bounce back anything he wants to set, or at least deter him from trying to set those things in the first place. And so that's what I'm going to do, as he leads with the Barraskewda, which is potentially the worst possible lead I could have seen there, just because it outspeeds Diancie, it can one-shot Mega Diancie. Depending on what item he is and what his spread is, regular Diancie, if I don't Mega, will live one hit, but it will not look pretty good at the end of it. So this is a terrible matchup for me. I have no choice but to switch over into Slowbro and just eat whatever he goes for. So I'm very bulky. I take very little damage. In fact, he takes more from my Rocky Helmet than I take from his flip turn. And I see from that damage that he is most likely banded, and he's almost certainly Adamant with a low roll, or Jolly with a very high roll. I'm going to assume that he's Adamant banded just because that is the scarier of the two sets, because I don't have anything in those speed tiers to outspeed it, and we're going to work off that assumption for the rest of the battle. So as he goes for the flip turn, he is now able to bring in that Shuckle free and get up those webs for nothing. So I'm going to immediately teleport into Claydol because I need those webs gone. I can't afford those there for the rest of the match. As he goes into Tapu Fini. Now, I'm going to stay in and go for teleport rather than hard switching so I can see what he's going to do. And I see the sub. Now, sub is terrifying. I was ready for Calm Mind Fini. I really wasn't that scared of Calm Mind Fini. But sub Calm Mind Fini is nightmare fuel. I was not ready for that. And unfortunately, I did just let him get a sub for free, which is the worst of every possible scenario. So I'm forced to go into Sylveon, who's the one thing who can hit it through a sub while also living a hit. Urshifu can obviously break the sub, but it's going to die in one shot. Diancie will probably live one hit and break the sub, but it will not look good at the end of it. So I do have to go into Sylveon here and just start spamming Hyper Voices. I know that I can take anything he wants to dish out for 2 or 3 Calm Minds. He's not going to be able to damage me for quite a while. So I'm just going to keep chipping at it, chipping away. And at this point he reveals Draining Kiss instead of Moonblast, which is just terrible. He's going to be healing off about as much as I'm dealing with the Moonblast or the Hyper Voice, so I have to switch out into Aegislash here because I know I can eat those, and that forces him to go for the water move instead. He does reveal he has the Surf as I go for Iron Head just to break the sub. At this point, I call him that he's going to go for a sub again, expecting the Shadow Sneak, and I go for a second Iron Head. And now I have no choice here. I need this thing to be out from behind the sub so I can damage it with other things on my team. So I'm forced to stay in with my Aegis Slash, which if you I guess it wasn't... No, I don't think Aegis Slash was. Yeah, it was in the video. This is my pretty dedicated Nihilego counter. And unfortunately, it's just going to have to die because I have to sit in here and click Shadow Sneak to make sure that this thing doesn't get a free sub and free damage. So Oathblade goes down, and that does let me bring in Big Punch Boy. And as soon as I saw that I accidentally let it be a girl on Showdown, I knew this battle was going to go poorly, because that's the one thing in all of my prep. I don't care if any of my Pokemon are boys or girls, but I determined that Big Punch Boy was going to be named Big Punch Boy and had to be male. So the second I saw that I forgot to fix it, I knew we were in for a bad time. So I clicked the Poison Jab to get rid of the Fini. I know there's a very good chance he's going to switch into Ferrothorn here, but I just cannot risk it. I have to click Poison Jab. So Ferrothorn's coming in here, and I make probably the single worst play I could have made all game. I decide to stay in and click the Drain Punch. I know Drain Punch isn't going to kill Ferrothorn. I know that there is nothing I can do to one-shot this. I know it can't one-shot me back, but even if it just gets the turn to set Spikes or Leech Seed, I shouldn't have stayed in here. But I do, and I click the Drain Punch, and he has the Chople Berry. So it does 27. It would have done about 54 without the berry, so even then it wasn't a good play. And he goes for the Thunder Wave. And just like that, Urshifu is out of the match. This is now a mostly useless Mon, just because it can't outspeed anything. And Urshifu is not bulky enough to take hits and kill things back. So Garchomp is now able to one-shot this. Fini is able to one-shot it with Draining Kiss. Nihilego probably has Dazzling Gleam and can one-shot it. So this Mon is now basically just useful for Ferrothorn and Shuckle. I do have the Sucker Punch. I can potentially pick off Barraskewda, and I could pick off like a weakened Nihilego or Garchomp. So I'm not going to throw it away, but Big Punch Boy is basically dead in the water now. So I'm going to just click Wicked Blow, do about 50% to that Ferrothorn, leaving it with about a quarter as he misses the Leech Seed. And I'm just going to click Drain Punch one more time, do a little bit of damage to Tapu Fini. Kind of wish I'd clicked Wicked Blow there, but I'm going to be forced to switch into Burp, who's going to take the damage from Draining Kiss and then damage it back with Rocky Helmet. Draining Kiss is one of the few special moves that makes contact. The only other one I can think of off the top of my head is Grass Knot, although that one doesn't make any sense to me. But anyways, he's going to switch out hard into Shuckle here, trying to get his webs back up as I click Future Sight, and then hard switch into my Diancie as he sets up those webs. I'm not super concerned with them, so I'm going to pop up a substitute because I know there is nothing on Earth that Shuckle can do to pop this sub. There's no world that Shuckle lives in short of, what's the move where it turns its defense into its attack? And I'm not really scared of the Shuckle. So I'm going to drop my substitute as he goes for Power Split. Now that was beautiful prep. If I didn't have sub, he would have taken half of my attacking stats. So he would have had the godly defenses of Shuckle alongside about half of my very, very powerful Mega Diancie. And so I would have started doing less and less. And now this Shuckle's random coverage move that it probably has, I'm assuming it's Earthquake, maybe Stone Edge, is going to do a boatload of damage back. So luckily I did dodge that with the substitute, and now he's in a very bad spot where something is going to die. So Future Sight comes through and hits Shuckle, so at the very least I've popped the Sturdy as he brings in Iron Man to take the Diamond Storm. I do get the defense boost, and I click Diamond Storm again rather than clicking Mystical Fire, just on the 50% chance I get the other defense boost, and there it is. Now Garchomp comes in. I'm very excited about this. This is one thing I want gone as soon as possible. So I'm going to click Moonblast, and I'm going to do 98%. He apparently EV'd specifically to live that hit, and it paid off for him because I lose my sub as I take out the Garchomp. And he's able to bring in Barraskewda. Now Barraskewda, I know I can live any hit, so I'm just going to stay out in. I eat the flip turn, I go for Moonblast. Shuckle is in here. I didn't see this switch coming. I actually thought that was a throw on his part. I thought he was going to just let me get a free sub up here with Shuckle. I didn't know what his game plan there was. So I foolishly took the bait. He hard swaps back into Barraskewda as I go for sub. And now I have 8% of my Diancie left as he has Barraskewda in. He can pop that sub with another flip turn and go back to Shuckle as I kill Diamond Storm and kill it. And now Diancie can't stay in anymore. So it has to switch out. Barraskewda comes in once again. Flip turn is going to do, again, more damage to it than it does to Burp. And here comes the Fini. So I'm in a bad spot again. He can just start Calm Minding for free. I'm going to click Future Sight because I know at this point Draining Kisses are going to hurt him almost as bad as they hurt me. And I'm going to switch back into Diancie here. I know I still outspeed. I know he's super bulky. And I'm going to click Diamond Storm because it is physical. And I do just quite not enough to prevent the sub. But then Future Sight comes in, so I know he can't sub. I'm in a good spot. Plushie comes in. All I have to do is kill it here. He's faster. And that is going to be the beginning of a very, very slow, painful death at the hands of Tapu Fini. It can just keep Calm Minding. I'm doing less each turn with Hyper Voice than he's healing off with his Draining Kisses. And basically, I need a crit here to win. And spoiler alert, I'm not going to get that crit. So, unfortunately, prep this week didn't end up working out. There was a set I was thinking about that I really wish I would have brought. It would have been amazing for what he ended up bringing. It was Golbat with Haze, Roost, Toxic, and Defog, which sounds like a terrible set, but it would have worked wonders against this particular Tapu Fini by hazing away all the Calm Mind boosts, defogging away the Misty Terrain so I can Toxic it, Roost so I never die. With Infiltrator I can Toxic it even behind the sub. And I decided I wanted Stealth Rocks on Claydol more than I wanted this particular Golbat set. So I didn't bring it, and then as you just saw, I never even clicked Stealth Rocks. So that's going to be the end of this battle. Tapu Fini got an ungodly 6 kills and turned what looked like it was going to be a sweep for Mega Diancie into a victory for Nolan. So he is still undefeated at 8-0. He is the first coach to clinch any level of playoff spot. There are a few other coaches, myself included, who are close. We're just on the cusp, and we might be in playoffs, and we just don't know based on the battles that haven't happened yet. But this is the first team that is definitively in playoffs. I feel bad I wasn't able to break the streak. I really thought I had a good chance, and unfortunately I just played terribly around the Tapu Fini. I wasn't nearly as prepped for it as I thought I was, and I ended up paying for it really, really hard. So excellent prep on my opponent's part. He ended up working really, really hard to pull that back around, and that switch with the Shuckle hard switch into Barraskewda, that was a risky play that if I hadn't fallen for it, I probably would have won right there. If Barraskewda dropped to a Moonblast or a Diamond Storm on the switch in, everything on his team was going down on the way in to face the Diancie that would have been at 40%-ish at the time. So that was a very good game on my opponent's part. He did a really good job prepping for me, and unfortunately I wasn't able to pull off the win. But that was the video. If you liked it, feel free to leave a like. If you want to hang out with us, I'll leave a link to the WPF server down below. I'll also leave links to all the other coaches who post content for our league. Come in, hang out, check out their videos. We're all relatively cool, relaxed people. Today is the 17th. The Nintendo Direct just happened a couple of hours ago. So we're currently all discussing how disappointed we are in general in it, and how we're all excited for one or two things that were announced. So if you want to get in on that talk, feel free to jump in. Otherwise, have a good day, guys. I'll see you next time.